Hey guys, what's going on? Thanks for clicking on the video. I'm pretty much going to go over my 2003 KX250 and all the mods I've done to it. A lot of these mods I haven't seen done before, and so I figured it'd be a good idea to make a video for you guys. And if you guys have any questions on any of the stuff that I've done, feel free to comment down below. Be sure to like the video, and let's get into it. So, I bought this bike about 2.5 years ago, and it ripped on the test track. Rode good, wheeling like crazy, as the usual two-stroke does on the street, any dirt bike really. Got it home, quickly threw it into Supermoto trim. I've got custom Supermoto wheels for it, and had it for about 2 weeks. Blew the top end, so I pretty much destroyed the top end of my motor. If I could recommend anything to anybody, when you buy a two-stroke, just pull that top end off and check it out, because if I would have done that, I would have saved a lot of money. So, obviously, I had to send my cylinder off to Millennium out in Wisconsin, and they had to replate my cylinder. They also fixed, obviously, everything. Came out like, it looked brand new. I didn't even want to run it. But got that done, and then it kind of just slowly snowballed into what it is now, which it's about, this is like version 3, I believe, of this bike that I've had. Yeah, version 3. Obviously, I had the stock 03 look, then I went 03 all black, then I went back to 03 with 2014 front fender, and then I started doing all this. So, I'm going to kind of go into a little bit of detail about everything. I'm not going to go into crazy detail. So, if you guys have any questions, like I said, put them in the comments, and I'll answer them as soon as I can. But let's get started. So guys, now I'm going to start focusing more on the bike. So guys, first thing obviously is the plastics on this thing. The plastics are from a kit called TXRACE. They are based out of Spain, so I had to wait a little bit to get it. And mainly the thing you're waiting on is all the little, all the plastic pieces and all the different brackets to get this kit to line up. So the cool thing with this kit versus some of the kits on eBay you get for 150 bucks. Kits on eBay, you gotta buy gas tank, subframe, seat, air box, which sometimes air boxes come with subframes already on them. But you have to buy all that stuff, and it was gonna come out to like 800 bucks. And so I decided to get this kit, which only was about, I can't remember how much it was. I want to say it was about 500 maybe, but a lot cheaper than the other one. So let's I'm going to go over all the plastics and everything and all the brackets, because yeah, there's not another kit out there that made this 03 look like a new bike for as cheap as it was. So let's get into it. So guys, first brackets I'll show you on it real quick is these brackets. They're plastic. They bolt onto the stock tank, which is really cool. So you don't have to go buy a brand new tank for $200-300. It came with everything pretty much. The kit, I'd say on a scale of 1 to 10 for skill level to install it, or how difficult. We'll say how difficult it was. I'd put it at like a 5 or 6 out of 10. Because obviously you're putting 2016 plastics on an 03 with supplied brackets to get everything to fit really good, and it was pretty difficult. I had to take a heat gun to pretty much all of this, especially this. This was the hardest part. All this was super hard because it's just a different shape. Radiators in different places. Brackets are mounting a little bit more of an angle and whatnot. So that was the most difficult part of this whole thing, was obviously both these sides. The back was not that bad. You have a bracket here that sweeps up, and obviously I got a little gap right here, which I don't like, so I'm going to try to fix that later on. But this all fit in pretty good. The seat, there's all new holes for the seat, so you're actually piggybacking off the stock holes, which are like right here, and it's a new bracket that's like an L, and it drops them down to here. They even give you a seat. They give you a seat in the kit, so I picked blue to match my blue hub, my blue hoses, and all that stuff, but I'll go over that. Rear fender was a little bit difficult, but it bolted on pretty easily. It's not crazy difficult. It took a while to get everything to fit good. There's still some issues like this rubs. So what I'm going to try to do is heat gun and try to get this to pull out and try to get it to stay out, because I want it to be nice and clean. I want it to look really good, which it already does. There's obviously some, you know, obviously there's the kit right there. TXRACE.com is where you can get it. There's little things like there's no dot on the eye. That's the only thing that bugs me, but I got a white paint pen. I'm just gonna do that myself. I do not care. So let's keep going over the bike. That's obviously the kit, and it turned out really well. I mean, for how much it costed and the amount of time it took, it was completely worth it. And just so you guys know, I will get to the other side. I'm just kind of doing one side at a time. So obviously, when Millennium had it, they cleaned up the cylinder. So the cylinder obviously looks so much cleaner than the bottom end, but I still like it. It looks good. It lets people know that, hey, I just had my top end done and I'm ready to rip, you know. So while that was gone, obviously I took everything apart, took the power valve out, took everything out. I pretty much was going to rebuild everything in the top end, and I decided to redo everything. So, and part of that reason is my output shaft on my transmission. So when you would wiggle the rear tire back and forth, and that spline wouldn't move. So that was telling me the chain was too tight. I had a bad habit of running my chain tighter than I should. Now I run it looser than I should because I do not want to change this out again. That's why I had to split both cases. And yeah, this case is literally, I believe it's three. Yeah, three. You know, yeah, this side, that side, and then you have water pump and all those covers. While all that, you know, I rebuilt the bottom end myself, and it turned out good with the help of a buddy of mine. He had all the tools and presses and everything for the main. I mean, I put all new bearings in this thing, new bearings in the transmission. I pretty much redid this whole motor because I knew I was going to keep the bike for a while. Obviously, you know, cool little accent, fuel lines. No, I don't have clamps on it. Who cares? It's not going anywhere. I've been riding it like that for a while. Blue radiator hoses. I actually got these on eBay. I got them for, I believe, like 30 bucks. You had to kind of trim to fit them, but they fit really good. Rebuilt my carburetor. I rejetted my carburetor because it was having a hard time starting when it was cold. It would bog for a while until it was like nice and hot. And so I rejetted it. Pro Circuit's got a cool chart that shows you everything from stock pipe to, you know, what, you know, obviously they're running like a platinum series, which I'm full FMF. But you can kind of use that and base your jet sizes and everything off of that and get a good idea of to go up or down. But yeah, so that's about it for the motor. Let's move on to the other side. So guys, I am running an FMF Turbincore 2. I was running an R304 Shorty Pro Circuit exhaust, but I'm running this because it's got a spark arrestor on it, and I don't feel like getting a ticket for not having a spark arrestor. So I just put that on it. And their spark arrestor is actually the Turbincore, the name. It's actually a turbine that throws into a spiral. So there's not actually a screen that gets clogged. All the oil comes out. It doesn't clog up like they normally do. But that's my silencer. Now we're on to the goodies. Man, the sticker's coming off. That's alright. This is the goodie side. I like this side. Obviously, this is like everyone's favorite side of a two-stroke, but whatever. I'm running Gold Series Fatty expansion chamber, obviously paired with FMF, so everything's FMF, so that's cool. The one thing that I'm running that I don't know anyone that's running one is a Rekluse clutch. These things, you know, I was kind of skeptical because I was like, well, I don't know, it kind of takes the point of the clutch out, but it actually doesn't. The only thing it really does is prevents your bike from stalling. If for some reason you're in second gear doing a hill climb, and you start slowing down, you hit a rock or something, you slow down, you don't have to worry about pulling in that clutch. That bike's still going to idle. It's pretty much a centrifugal clutch. And when it spins, when you give it gas, it expands like this and pinches those clutch plates in there, and then boom, it's engaged. And then when it stops, it slowly closes. I love it. It's by far one of my favorite mods I've done, other than the whole restyle kit. Because it just makes it, when I come to a stop, I'm not worrying about, oh my gosh, you don't want to stall, or even hill climbs. I used to be, scared of hill climbs because I've dumped this bike a decent amount of times before I redid everything. I dumped it a couple times, on the hill climb. You get going, and then the bike would kind of turn sideways, and you'd say, screw it, I'm gonna bail, because let the bike tumble, not you. So I was like, let's give it a shot. Gave it a shot, and man, I love this thing. Now this is the EXP 2.0. They no longer sell the 2.0. They discontinued it. I talked to Rekluse on the phone a while ago about it, and they said, oh, you know, it's still, you can still get parts for it, but we just don't sell it anymore. And the only downside to the 2.0, I talked to them about all the newer ones, the new, you know, the 3.0 EXP, which the Radius X is the only one they offer for the KX250. Because my issue is my clutch lever is probably 3 to 4 times stiffer than it should be. And I asked them about that. I said, hey, why is my clutch so stiff? I don't mind it, but it's like when you still have to use the clutch to shift. Now, if you're good at clutchless upshifting, go for it. I just reboot my transmission. I'm using my clutch. They said, yeah, that was the only issue with this 2.0 EXP is because they give you different springs, which are way stiffer, and that's to obviously make it work better versus softer springs. It doesn't close, and you need those heavy springs to help force the Rekluse closed when you're letting off the gas. I'd really like it. If you guys have questions on it, if you want me to do a more detailed video about it, let me know. I left the over to the water pump now. I left the stock water pump. I could not find a Voisin supercooler for it. I really wanted to run it, you know, because obviously a cooler bike's a happier bike, but at the same time, it's still, everything's pretty much stock other than, you know, internally, other than, you know, jetting and the pipe. But I figured, you know, when I had all this off, I painted all this. Obviously it's rubbing here. This is from about 4 rides. I haven't been riding this bike as much as I want to. Now I can, so I'm going to ride it a lot more. But I painted all this with Steelite. Same with the swing arm. The swing arm, I actually pressed all the bearings out. Like I said, I put new bearings in everything. When I had the bearings pressed out on that swing arm, I took it over and had them sandblasted at a powder coating place. It only charged me like 20 bucks. They sandblasted it, and then I painted it with Steelite, and that stuff is tough. If you sandblast something and then paint it, it's tough. So I may end up doing it to these. I just, you know, I painted them and I wanted to see how well it would hold up, and you know, it holds up pretty well. That holds up really good. This stuff's holding up okay. It's just right where you rub a lot. Oh, and I forgot to mention these. These are frame guards. I got those because I did not want my powder coat to rub off. I did not want my powder coat to rub off that I just paid for. So I literally rode it like once or twice without them. And I was like, yeah, I need some covers. So those are from Lightspeed. They sell only carbon fiber stuff. I've got, you know, some pieces I'm missing, like my rotor guard and my rear brake caliper guard I'm missing. I need to get. They sell those carbon fiber, so I'm going to do some carbon fiber on it just to give it a nice look. But yeah, this is this side. That's about it on this side. So guys, these are forks off of a 2015 KX450. I found them on OfferUp for pretty cheap, and I decided, you know what, let's give it a shot. Let's throw some brand new forks on this baby and give her some love. And so that's what I did. I really like them. I just gotta fine tune them because obviously they're 450. I'm still kind of tuning them with the air pump. Obviously this is your pressure side. So this is like your spring side, and this is your shock side. Is pretty much how that works. The air is pretty much a spring. The air gives you ride height and everything. And these are really good. And the crazy thing is this all fit up on this bike just fine. I just had to shave this down a little bit. I want to repaint these too as well, but we can do that later. I had to shave those down to get them to fit. And other than that, they fit on there pretty good. And didn't really give me any issue. I'm running Tusk front rear rim. I don't need anything crazy. I just need something to keep the tire on and something that looks good with that nice blue hub. And the rear was already a Tusk, so I figured I'd match the front because when I bought the bike, it came with that rear rim. So, what modifications did I have to do to get these forks to fit? None. I didn't have to do anything. Obviously, you need to get I got a KX450 front brake line to get that to fit good. And literally, all this is 203. The rim, the axle, the spacers, brake caliper, rotor, everything is from an 03, and it fits good. That's kind of why I like Cowie. They try to not change a whole lot. And the fact that this is an 03 and it still fits on a 2015 forks is pretty awesome. So back to this sensor here. You guys see I got a speed sensor in here, right? And a lot of people are like, what is that thing, dude? What is it? What does it do? Well, it's a speedo and for miles. When I was riding around town, I needed a speedo, and so I got that. And I had it mounted kind of rinky-dinky on the up there on the bars, and so I fixed that. It looks a lot better. So it's pretty good. I just have a zip tie going all the way up, actually going all the way up the just the front brake line. So guys, this thing shows pretty much everything. Obviously miles per hour, your distance, what time it is, which that time's actually wrong. I need to fix that. Shows you your average is 30. I don't go balls to the wall when I ride. I don't want to get hurt. And 66 is my max. I still got to take some glue and glue this down, but I trimmed it out in the bar pad so it fits in there clean. And you don't even notice it if you aren't looking for it. So, but yeah, so that's that. I like it. It was pretty cheap. It's only like 80 bucks, 60 bucks, something like that. But yeah, this thing's awesome. This thing was like 25 bucks on Amazon. My brother actually gave it to me. He bought it and didn't use it, and he gave it to me. And it's built in, so you don't have all this stuff, crowding your bars. Everything's super clean, and I really like it. Thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. I'm not doing this to get any crazy views or nothing. I just figured I'd do this to kind of show you guys my bike and what I've done to it. If you got a similar bike and you've got questions, be sure to comment down below. If you're trying to do this classics kit and you just don't know how or whatever, send me a message on YouTube or comment down below, and I can help you and give you some guidance, because there's nothing that I've found with any of this stuff done to it. And yeah, there's a few out there, but there's a lot of guys that they do the subframe and everything. I'm like, I don't want this to stay stock because I want to be able to switch it back if I ever want to, which I don't, but just in case. So, thanks guys for watching.